Okay, he's a little early, but hey, why not? He's been a guy who's been such an advocate for this, spent 30 years working as a USW member. He's the honorable mayor and a really great guy of Clairton, Pennsylvania, Rich Latanzi. Rich, I don't know anybody else who's got to be more happy than you. Just your thoughts about what it was like when you heard that the president said, let's get it done. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, it's been a long, long journey, and yesterday we got that great news that Clariton in the Mon Valley and possibly the United States is saved with steelmaking, and it was a wonderful thing to hear. Had some kind of inkling that it might happen, but there's never no guarantees. And we thought maybe Clinton was going. I'm not Clinton, but Biden was going to do something a few months back. That didn't happen, and here Trump comes forward and said, "Okay, I'm going to allow this partnership and all the good stuff that goes with it." And it was wonderful news. A lot of hard work that paid off.
So, when you look at this down the road, and obviously we're a little older, but hopefully we'll see a lot of it in our lifetime, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, what do you see the future because of this impending deal? Still a little bit more to go, but hopefully we can get it to the finish line. Go ahead.
Well, I see some longevity. I see like our grandkids and their kids enjoying the good union steel making jobs that I enjoyed. And people talk about history. I don't know if somebody's going to say, "Hey, you remember back there in 2025 when there was a big decision, to keep U.S. Steel and a merger with Nippon." I think it's definitely history in the making, and this was very instrumental in keeping the Mon Valley alive for so many years. We were on a shoestring, and just getting along. U.S. still don't want to make any major investment because they didn't know what the future held. The environmental issues, so on and so forth. Now on the pond, they're coming in with a boatload of money, and they want to invest in steel. They have some good ideas, and they got some ideas for helping with the environment. I think it's a win for everyone.
Yeah, they have been just such a stellar performer in this. Just never say die. They just continue to work, work, work along with U.S. Steel and the Pawn Steel. So grateful. Um, the investment, it's massive. I don't even think people can underestimate that more than me when it comes to the significance of it. So you got to talk about the money, the money, the money. But more importantly, what this is going to do for the spirit and the people of places like Clairton and in the Mon Valley, it's going to give them a reason to think that there is hope. Maybe some of the stuff that's been gone for a while may actually start to return. It may take a little bit of time, but at least there's the possibility now, something we didn't have of late, Rich.
Correct. And I guess I remember, a few years ago, U.S. still making some big announcement that they were going to invest in the Mon Valley and possibly a new hot mill, a few other things. Talking about $2 or $3 million investment. Now we're talking about Nippon coming in with 14 plus billion with a billion dollars. There's a lot of things that could be achieved with $14 billion. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen in Clairton. There is talk of a new mill, but even talk of a couple new batteries, which brand new batteries would be good. They would be here for 100 years, and just the quality of steel or cook that could come out of these batteries, and being environmentally safe for a while. There's so many pluses with that. But yeah, I can't even imagine. I mean, when U.S. Steel announced they were going to put a couple $1 million into Mon Valley 5, 7 years ago, was exciting. Now we're talking about $14 billion throughout the Mon Valley. Possibly some things in Gary, Indiana, but hot mill. Some additions to the Clairton Coke Works, blast furnace at Edgar Thompson. These are all components that make the steel and the steel making possible. So it'd be like you having a stove in your house and your wife said, "Hi, for some reason it just won't cook over 325, and I'm making this cake and it just didn't come out right." Now you're going to put a brand new stove in your house. Now you're going to get the results that you've been looking for.
That sounds good. Rich Latanzi, Mayor of Clairton, just a couple more minutes. So when I think of what they're going to do, and I kind of made an analogy earlier today that if you saw this beautiful Victorian house in a place like Clairton or some of the old guard, Wilkinsburg, Shadyside, Squirrel Hill of the great city of Pittsburgh, and you had an unlimited cash stream, you could basically go in and knock the walls down, completely refurbish it, take it back to its original look. Do you really foresee them going in there and just basically going top to bottom, side to side, and just making pretty much everything brand spanking new again?
I can't see that happening. No, that would be a major overtaking on that. I do see them going in and replacing the components that need to be replaced, not necessarily the whole mill. And I think that, just like you being a football team, if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm going in, I'm saying, okay, we need help at quarterback. We need a little help on the line. I'm not changing the whole team. I'm just going to change the components that's going to make me more competitive.
Some of the things you talked about them adding, though, it will make them competitive for the next 100 years. So that's a pretty big makeover, isn't it?
Correct. And I think we talked about this before. U.S. Steel, as I know it, they survive in the appliance business in the small steel parts, and just washers, dryers, refrigerators, stoves, small components, real small ones. But now you got Japan, and you have Nippon. They're global. They're recognized in the automobile industry, and there's a lot of room to work with the tariffs. You had China that had 60% of the global market. Now with the tariffs that Trump's putting in place, I see it being a more level and a fair playing field for all steelmaking. So I'm looking for U.S. Steel and the Pawn as a merger to make some noise in the global market and to tap into the automobile industry and I don't know, shipbuilding, planes, whatever.
Well, that's what I was telling Audrey Russo earlier, and I had to kind of correct her that I was saying it wasn't in the conversation when this whole thing started, but now tariffs is in the conversation, and if it gets done, Nippon could benefit, U.S. Steel could benefit. It could really be a win-win for both. So it'll make us more than competitive and give us a chance to really make some profit and continue to add to the bottom line. So there are some really amazing things happening here. The last thing I want to ask you, one of the things that I've often heard about this region, when it comes to getting permits to build things, it can get a little difficult. I believe that everybody involved must take a hard look at this and realize this is a game changer. So if you have to be a little bit more quick when it comes to getting those permits done, people in those positions need to understand there's a lot banking on this. So if you are going to be signing off on these permits, you got to be thinking about long-term and big picture, correct?
Correct. Yes, this here has to go to the top. It's got to be, it's got to be a project there that we got to say, okay, we got to expedite this. This is for the good of the whole country. It can't be just another project laying in a pile. So yeah, the people at the top there, the county level, the state, the legislators, everyone's going to push to get this stuff going fast because we got some momentum right now. We don't want it to stall.
So how are you going to spend your Memorial Day weekend?
Well, I'm going to be leaving to go away for on Tuesday for a week with my wife for our 10th anniversary.
Hi.
We're going to have a Memorial Day celebration in Clareton on Monday, and my grandkids always stay every Saturday, and my son's coming in for a visit. So yeah, I'll do some family time, and it's been a long time. We're going to just sit back and relax and enjoy the family.
That sounds good to me. Listen, I can't thank you enough. You've been above and beyond the call of duty for me, and I'm glad that we're to this point. Now let's just get this thing done and get going and start rebuilding and helping great communities like Clareton, where you have done an incredible job. Make no mistake about it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, and thank you for all you've done for us. Still, you've been a big advocate, and everybody knows that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir. We'll be back. Much more. Stay with us.